Good morning. As many of you know, I believe, I volunteer for hospice, and on a weekly basis, I will go and visit a patient. Recently, I had a second patient come on my route, so to speak, and so I visit two ladies. I visit them on Wednesday afternoon, and this past Wednesday, I think really marked for me a moment that said, you know, what you do is nothing huge, but it can make a difference. And God showed me that with both of these people. The first lady is in her late 70s, sweet, super optimistic, just loves to have somebody come visit her. And she doesn't have much family, and her niece who does visit her can't always be there. She's got a lot on her own plate. And so I went to visit her. She's in an independent living community, and I knocked on the door. I didn't hear anything, but I know sometimes it takes her a while, and then all of a sudden I heard this voice that said, hello, and I told her who it was, and I usually have to jog her memory, why I'm there and who I am. And then I knocked again, and finally she said to me, I can't get up. She was down and she couldn't get up. And I don't know how long she was down, but I said, I will go get you some help. And there are quite a few people in this independent living community. How long she was sitting down and she couldn't get up, I don't know, but I thought what timing that I would be there to go find somebody. And it still took about 15 minutes. But I was so glad that my timing was what it was, that I could help her in such a small way. And then the rest of the time went on like it normally would. She's very pleasant, very happy to chat. So I went on to see the second patient, and this lady's in her early 90s, and she's just incredible, and she is in assisted living. And I had never met her sister before, and I approached the doorway to go into her room, and I could hear this voice talking, and I could hear this person just kind of pouring out her heart to this lady that I visit. And I walked in, and the one sister was telling the other sister, the older sister who I visit, she's like, you just won't believe what's going on in our family. And she's just starting to unload, and you can just tell she is emotionally overwhelmed. And as she's telling it, she's telling her older sister, but don't worry, don't think about it. You just, and I'm thinking, how can she not think about it? Because you are just pouring out, which I understand. And she's going on, and she's like, but now you know what? Because she's here, you visit, and I'm just going to leave. And I heard this voice, and I don't know if it was God or if it was pastor, but let me tell you, it was one of authority. And I heard a voice say to me, pray. And I looked at both of them, and I said, before you leave, we need to pray. And so I said, let's hold hands. And the sister said, oh, this is a good idea. And so I just prayed, and I am not one of eloquent words, but I just asked God. I said, God, give these two women peace, give them comfort, give them strength to deal with what's on their plate. And please, God, just let the truth be revealed in this situation, that things are not happening. You could use the words not fair and what's happening and how they're being kept from a loved one. And I mean, it just like inside me broke my heart. And because the one sister kept saying, there's nothing we can do, there's nothing we can do. And I said, oh, we can pray. I mean, I heard this voice just say, pray. And so we held hands and we prayed. And then she left and she said, oh, thank you for your timing, for being here. And then the rest of the time I enjoyed the visit with the sister, and I reiterated to the sister who I visit, because she's like, oh, I just feel bad, I can't do anything. I said, the one thing we can always do is pray. And you pray. And I have been praying since I saw these two ladies, since Wednesday, just for their well-being, their peace of mind. But to top it all off, I left, and I got downstairs and got in my car, and I'm like, where are my sunglasses? And this is over at like 12 in Van Dyke, so it's not very close to home. So I'm looking, and I can't find them. And I'm like, I must have left them back in the room. And wouldn't you know, I walk in, and just as I'm starting to look around, she hasn't seen me yet. She's struggling to open up her refrigerator. She can't get into this refrigerator. She's in a wheelchair. And what is sitting on her refrigerator but my sunglasses? And I just thought, God, it's amazing how you work. Because for a moment I wrestled, do I just leave them? They must be there. I'll probably get them next week. No. Something kept saying, go back, go back, go back. And when I went back, and again, it's such a small thing, but she was just couldn't get that refrigerator open. She was frustrated. I felt for her. But I'll tell you, I felt so moved that day that God put me in their lives, those two women, for those moments, just to be able to be a small help to them. So I just praise him.